Oh no, it's Professor Pio. The only thing worse than a Pio is a smart Pio.
How smart are we talking about exactly?
Well, he's smart. For a Pio.
Good afternoon, my esteemed colleagues and viewers. Today signs the start of a new series that we had in mind for quite some time, and I was in charge of creating the set for it. In fact, Danny, please follow me.
Wow, Pio. It's incredible for me to say it, but good job. This looks extremely good.
Thank you, my autism-riddled nerd friend, but the budget you allotted for the set was not enough, so I had to make use of a very generous donor to buy the rest of the material.
Oh yes? Who was it? Is he a patron?
He prefers to stay anonymous, but I can tell you, he was pretty generous.
Pio, that's my wallet.
Very generous.
Designation: Khrave. Binomial nomenclature: unknown. Classification: Neurophagic species. Official status: extinct. Inquisitorial status: remnants of the species still active in the gold stars. Recommended approach: exterminate with extreme prejudice.
So, today we talk about the Khrave, eh?
Yes, we will open this with a bang at least. Their species is very interesting. As many people might have understood, the series of Xenology Lab was created to cover minor Xenos races of 40k that usually don't get that much attention. So if you have suggestions in what we should cover next, feel free to leave them in the comments. The Khrave is a bit of a weird species to approach, but once you get into their lore, you realize how dangerous they are even in small numbers. And especially you will realize that they might be more dangerous than the Rangdan themselves.
If you're curious about the Rangda, our first lore video about the Rangdan Xenocides covered them.
The Khrave are peculiar creatures that are said to exist in both the Materium and the Warp simultaneously. But that, in my opinion, is the wrong description, as every Psychic species exists in both at the same time. The better description would be that they exist in a state in between the Materium and Immaterium. They are partially Warp entities and partially Material entities. They are extremely old creatures, in fact they exist from before the Old Ones even created the Eldar species. So these aliens are around from before the War in Heaven, and the Imperium has had to deal with them from the Great Crusade itself to even now in the date of M42. The Ultramarines had to fight them during the counter-invasion of the Khrave Haunted Reach, a campaign that would cost the Ultramarines 4,000 of their battle brothers and even the life of Chapter Master Teokista Ware. They had to fight them during the compliance of Indra Sul.
Finally, after nearly an hour of non-stop fighting, a flash of light announced the arrival of the Deliverers, a company of Terran-born Raven Guard clad in Terminator armor, grim in aspect and wielding an array of fearsome weapons not usually favored by the subtle tactics of the 19th Legion. The Deliverers' mass firepower pushed the Khrave back into the vault, and the Terran legionaries advanced, unleashing thousands of rounds of mass reactive death into the wall of aliens before them, the ferocity of the Terran Raven Guard finishing what the stoic determination of their brethren from Deliverance had begun. Forcing their way into the vault chamber through the brutal application of ordnance, paying little heed to the damage they caused, the Deliverers unleashed a torrent of burning promethium upon the Khrave, scouring their nest clean with fire.
And again at the legendary Battle of Perdition Gate.
Famous incidences of this include both the Chthonian headhunters, which were to accompany the 63rd Expeditionary Fleet of War Master Horus, and the Caractals Cabal, who entered into legend as the only non-Legionist Astartes force to survive the Khrave onslaught at Perdition's Gate.
And the Khrave were so extremely persistent in their assaults against the Imperium that not only they survived the Great Crusade and the Horus Heresy, but survived all the way until now in 40k. They have even been fought by forces of Space Marines that we covered before on the channel, like the Star Phantoms, that fought them in an event that would be recorded as the Massacre of Cormag.
The Massacre of Cormag, 718 M39. By the 710s of M39, the fortress world of Cormag II on the edge of the Saqqara sector had been besieged for more than 2 centuries by Khrave marauders. Cormag had held out against the odds stacked against it, and had not fallen, but the world had been laid waste in the process. Taking it upon themselves to answer the defenders' long-standing plea for help, the Star Phantom's chapter fleet attacked en masse, swiftly encircling the Khrave nest webs in orbit and blasting them apart with concentrated fire from their bombardment cannon. Once they had scattered the remaining enemy snare ships, the Star Phantoms launched a full drop strike against the Khrave feasters on the surface, crushing them between the anvil of the extensive Cormac Bastion network and the hammer of the chapter's drop pod onslaught, swiftly annihilating the foul Xenos. As the defenders threw wide their gates to the liberators, however, it quickly became apparent that in their years of struggle against the alien, the human garrison had become genetically and spiritually corrupt. The master of the Star Phantoms was swift in his judgment. With their defenses already open to the Space Marines, the bastion which had held out for centuries against the Xenos became blood-drenched, killing chambers as the Star Phantoms purged Cormac's second of its tainted people.
But why are they so hostile to the Imperium of Men? As usual, I expect that somebody will chuck this one too to the Imperium wanting to eliminate Xenos. But no, that is not the case at all. The Khrave are designated as a neurophagic species, or, in simpler terminology, brain eaters, even if not in the literal sense. The Khrave, as they implied even to a Primarch before a battle, are a species that always lived in the darkness of other species around the galaxy while consuming them. The Khrave will literally consume your mind, emotions, memories, and personality all to feed themselves. And you want to know what makes them so dangerously effective? That they don't even need to be in the same planetary system to do so. The Khrave influence spreads around like a mind virus by sheer proximity, and not even proximity to them specifically, but to other people that are already infected. Meaning that if one human is infected and he gets amongst a group, the others will get infected too. And we can see this extremely clearly in a book campaign that was known as the Northern Fringe campaign of 997 M30. Campaign that would evolve in a matter of weeks into the War for Muspel. Now, these events are all covered in a single book, so every citation you see here originates from that book, and it is none other than the Primarch book of Lionel Johnson, Lord of the First.
Forced to read a Dark Angels novel, the brutality.
In this book at the beginning, chaos erupted on several ships surrounding the Invincible Reason, the flagship of the Dark Angels, with the Lion on board. The Lion sent his sons to board and bring into compliance those ships, and they found out that several individuals on them went crazy and started killing people. One such individual that we follow for a small window of the book was killed by a Dark Angel and brought back from a med team for an autopsy. And well, what they found out was pretty alarming.
Aravain frowned, but before he could think whether it would be permissible to ask what the Terran meant, Sathariel gestured to them from beyond the darkened pane. Stepping back from the mutilated human corpse on the apothecarian's slab, he pulled off his helmet. His hair was long, the color of teak, his features angelically handsome, but with eyes as cold and sharp as the needles of winter pines.
"You've brought me a puzzle, Codicia,"
he said, his voice transmitting tinily through an augmeter system built into the antechamber's soundproof walls.
"After a lengthy warp voyage in the wrong direction from the glories being won on Ulanor, you've my gratitude for that."
"Explain," said Aravan, leaning into the box embedded in the sill beneath the glass.
"Cause of mortis is straightforward enough. Mass reactive trauma to the gut, followed by massive external hemorrhaging. But time of mortis is where things become strange. I would say it occurred 30 minutes after Brother Pelias's helm logs record the shots being fired."
"Tenacious," said the Lycus.
"A feat of endurance that you or I might be capable of in extremis. But for a mortal man, death should have been instantaneous."
"Could the helm logs have been an error?" said Aravain.
"Possible, albeit unlikely. But time of mortis is not the strangest thing."
"It's not?"
"No.
"Speak, apothecary."
This man was dead days before Pelias shot him."
"What?" said the Lycus.
"At least he should have been."
The apothecary extended a bloodied claw towards the pinned-back wings of the mortal's cranium.
"He was suffering from extensive neural scarring. I've never seen anything quite like it. It is almost as if he experienced a dozen simultaneous aneurysm in almost every lobe of his brain. He would have needed intensive artificial support just to maintain his body's autonomous functions. As for running the decks until the arrival of Brother Pelias, well..."
A distorted whine traveled through the augmeter pads as the armored apothecary shrugged. Elikas turned to Aravain. "Does this mean something to you, brother?" Aravain's face remained a mask. "A puzzle, my lord," he said. "The apothecary is right about that."
Let me give a bit of context. The Khrave mind virus is not something that you can be freed from. Removing that from the moment you are infected, you are actively being eaten by this species. As you can see from the fact that this guy was brain dead days before a Dark Angel shot him. But the virus has not as the main objective feeding, but acquiring information and controlling high-ranking people. The Khrave sift through your memories, from the oldest to the newest. They learn who you are, what your abilities are, who you serve, and especially who commands you. And they start spreading so that they can sow chaos in the enemy forces before they even arrive physically to fight you. We can see this incredibly well during the Muspel campaign, where the Khrave had already infected almost the entire planet, and their influence started spreading even on the outsiders that arrived to defend the world. The Dark Angels even had a small legion of scout titans deployed to defend their new fortress on the planet, and even their princeps and moderati got mind-controlled and turned on them when the attack started. Not only that, the Khrave also choose a specific host and evolve them into what will become known as alpha hosts, pretty much embodiments of the brain of a Khrave, with tremendously powerful psychic powers to follow them. And this would happen on the flagship of the Lion too.
Savine froze, her eyes widened, her mouth distending in an airless scream. It was as though the observable universe drew in, condensing into a single point of apocalyptic brilliance centered on her. The subtle whisper in her head became a shriek, became a summons, became a supernova of galactic white noise. Savine Grail, imagist, remembered her, had no scope for resistance at all. Savin, the technician sitting opposite her, reached across the table. Are you or... The inner maelstrom passed from her mind and exploded outwards. The invisible wave disintegrated the workbench. Then the crewmen, automatically disassembling them before proceeding to annihilate the imagery equipment shelved against the laborious walls. A future echo turned her head. A dark angel filled the laborious doorway. Pushing aside the light screening curtain with his armored bulk, the warrior raised his bolter. With a thought, Savine crashed his warplate to 1/100th of its original size. A pinkish fluid dribbled from the armor's compacted soft seals as she relinquished her psychic grip, and the dead, now hyper-dense legionary thudded to the deck plate. She gave a giddy laugh as she rose. The stool she had been sitting on was the only fixture in the Laboria that had remained intact. A mortal voice from the adjoining corridor screamed an order, and a 5-centimeter thick metal door guillotined from the ceiling. With a flex of psychic muscle, she tore the emergency locked door hatch from the bulkhead, and the alien mind that now rode the body of Savine Grail walked free on the invincible reason.
As fighting erupted on the planet even against the Warhound Titans that now turned, the Lion took an emergency travel with his gunship to go back on the Invisible Reason, with which the Dark Angels had lost contact. There he would be met by the same Alpha Host that was Savine Grail.
The Lion dipped his head. The Imperium will never acknowledge this foe or know the cause of their annihilation from history, and so it was only just that the Lion salute a worthy adversary before the end. Savine! The woman bared black veined teeth. You know her name. Did she imagine that I did not? Is that the petty resentment that weakened her mind to you? The Lion shook his head. No one is admitted aboard my ship without my approval. Nothing transpires here without my knowledge. I keep no secrets that cannot suffer scrutiny. Markator knows this as well as I. I requested Savine. The Khrave host swayed as though struck. Savine has suffered for her shortcomings, the Lion went on. As soon as will you. I have already slain one of your kind. Your arrogance in facing me is deeply misjudged. He was young, Savine hissed. Barely 6 times older than your race. You speak to me of arrogance while failing to recognize the strength in front of you. Tell me your true name, Xenos. I alone will recognize it after your demise. It is beyond your ability to pronounce or comprehend. Savine will suffice. She would have enjoyed this moment if she were still here.
So from here we learn that not only the Lion was aware of the Khrave, but that he fought and killed one in the past, and that he came here exactly to fight another secret battle against them. Keep in mind, this is happening during the Ullanor Crusade and after the Rangdan genocides. Seems the Emperor trusts nobody else with his secret wars against partial warp entities. During this fight, when Khrave controlled Savine tried to enter the mind of the Lion, he overpowered her and read the memories of the Khrave in control, finding out where their own planet was situated. But he would also learn that the leader of these reality-shifting creatures was coming to join the battle, what was designated as the Autochthonar. Now this is a long book, and I recommend reading it yourself because it is a very long and violent battle that is fought against these Xenos, with even one of their Psy-Titans being deployed. The battle got so violent that under order of the Lion, all secret vaults on board of the Invisible Reason were opened, and Dark Age of Technology weaponry was deployed to the Dark Angels to fight this foe. But as the war on the planet continued, the Lion managed in space, once the fleet under the control of the Autochthonar arrived, to board his flagship. And he came face to face with a being older than entire galaxies, and more powerful than even greater demons.
The Lion was a singular being, accustomed to the potency of singular beings. What he sensed from the creature installed upon that throne was not the golden luminosity of the Emperor, nor even the thinly veiled aura of the Crimson King. It was a subcutaneous bleed of warp energy, a bruise under the skin of the Materium. It was an abomination that had risen to kingship over abominations. Holstering the fusel Actinius, he took the lion's sword in a two-handed grip. The Lord of the Khrave, the Autochthonar. The Xenos Lord was cracked and skeletal, mummified by incalculable age and incredible power. Force enough to flay the souls of 10,000 men crackled and spent across withered carapace. Its enlarged cranium was fringed with backswept horns. A crown of trigonometric shapes and unknowable glyphs sat a centimeter above its sunken brow on a crackling cushion of psychic repulsion. Its face was eyeless, featureless, like metal smoothed by acid, and yet the impression it forced on the eyes of the beholder was of colossal, devastating awareness. Here, it said, is a fiend that has outlived the younger galaxies, and the power of its proclamation overrode even the lion's resolve. The Primax staggered as the Khrave tore into his mind, plundering it of every secret and probing at every point of weakness, inflaming every remembered insult and half-feigned rivalry into a self-aggravated ulcer in his soul. This was an entity that predated even the star empires of old, spawned by evil, a living weapon for the spread of anguish and terror amongst the sentient races. It had learned to reproduce, outlived its long-forgotten creators, and thrived in a galaxy ripe with chaos and strife. The apogee of humanity's evolution was, it promised, but a footnote in the long gestation of its existence. The lion gritted his teeth, tightening his grip on his sword. The Autochthonar's mummified husk emitted an arachnoid click, as with the strength of will, the lion slowly forced its tendrils back into its own mind. Strike off the head and the body will perish. What was true of all creatures was true doubly of the Khrave. They were inextricably connected, independent thinking entities, but with minds fused into a hierarchy that answered to one being alone. The Autochthonar lifted its shriveled body from the throne, as though drawn upwards by the magnetic attraction of an electrical cloud. "To the lion!" bawled Herodel. A violent shockwave pulsed from the Autochthonar's mind. It struck the lion with the force of a thunder hammer between the eyes. The lion reeled back. The aftershocks were still firing through his skull as Holguin and the Deathwing, breaching the command chamber in his wake, were tossed aside like saplings before an atomic blast. The chamber's dimension contracted to a sword's point as the mind of one accustomed to conducting its thoughts across thousands of light years and through billions of minds focused its intellect solely and squarely upon the lion. The Autochthonar descended through a hail of sparking warp energies. Clawed feet touched the ground. Drawing one age-stiffened limb across its body, it summoned a blade of shivered real space as silently as stalking insects. 10, 15, then 25 warrior Khrave leapt through the curtain of Ether and into the attack.
The mind power of the Khrave is such that they can manipulate reality to the point of even becoming invisible while in front of you. They can literally delete your perception of them from your mind, and then take control of it. But not it could take control of the Dark Angels and especially the Lion. And after a brutal fight both on the planet and on the flagship, the Lion will manage to slay the Autochthonar in combat.
The death of the Xenos Titan ran through the Khrave's collective psyche like a fire along a trail of Prometheum. As the Lion had known it would, destroy the foe by the most expeditious means possible, beset him as swiftly as he was able, and from every avenue of assault. If the Lion could be said to have a single overarching principle of war, then it was this. The warrior Khrave who had survived the Nexus battle shrieked, segmented limbs flailing even before the Phosphex launchers and heavy flamers of Deathwing Terminators and Exindio Artificia put them to the torch. The knights took the unexpected moment's respite to reform into defensive spirals under a leash, taking the chance to reload and recover their breath. The twisted logic of the Exindio, however, had no understanding of mercy or quarter, and would grant none, even in error. Streams of arcane fire and hails of quixotic projectiles mowed the Khrave down. Every shrieking death further fuel for the bonfire of Xenos souls that burned across the shriveling overmind of the Autochthonar. Spasming energies forked across the Khrave Lord's brittle exoshells, multiple jointed limbs twitching beyond conscious control. The flawless geometries of its war crown bent under the play of energies, as its mind sought to corral and contain the enormous psychic feedback that had overridden its body. "It is possible that the Imperium of my father will one day falter, as you insist it must," said the Lion. Breathing hard from his exertions, he reversed his sword to wield it point down over the spasming body of the Khrave. The quillons raised to his eyes. "As I still draw breath, it shall not, and you shall never know." Lionel Jonson drove his sword through the Autochthonar's skull. Because you sought to pit your strength against the valor of the Dark Angels.
But this, unfortunately, wouldn't be the end of the Khrave. In fact, the most recent war fought against them started at the end of M41 and continues even now in M42 in the era Indomitus, on a planet known as Somrot.
Somrot, system Solmar. Once a developing feudal world of widely varying biomes, Somrot and its people were all but destroyed a century ago when a force of horrifying Xenos raiders called the Khrave found their planet. Somrot's lack of industry and sophisticated technology was such that the Imperium had chosen to leave it mostly unattended, only visiting on a 20-year cycle to gather a modest tithe. Correspondingly, no defense would have reached the world in time to save them from the foul carnivorous Xenos if not for a chance event. An accident in the Imperium caused the Adeptus Mechanicus explorator vessel Filia Fulman to emergency translate into real space, where the heavily damaged void ship plummeted to the surface of Somrot.
And this was a general, semi-in-depth look at the minor Xeno species of 40k known as the Khrave. Hope you guys like them as much as I do in concept, or even for the fact that they are giant bat people wielding weapons made of darkness, even if that is not the description given to them in the Book of the Lion.
They are indeed cool. I'm feeling less guilty now that I had one captured and brought here.
You what?
I sent a strike team of POs to capture one. They succeeded, and brought it back in the lab. Look.
You brought back to the lab a mind-eater xenoform that spreads a mind-controlling virus by sheer vicinity?
Yes, it is not a problem for me. The voice of a Khrave can't defeat the voices in my head.
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person.
They are too strong. Also, 18 PO's lives were lost in capturing it. May their souls find peace.
Wait, you lost 18 PO clones to capture this fucking bat thing? Who paid for those clones?
Obviously, our mysterious benefactor.
Come here, Pio. I want to talk to you very up close.
The benefactor is angry. But thank you guys for watching. Remember that you can support us on Patreon, Subscribestar and Ko-Fi and get access to the full Lord Destroyers episodes. And remember to follow us on Twitch as we stream 40k games and talk about lore on stream. So anyway, I have to run. See ya.
Sai dove te lo ficco quel cappellino da laureato?